Yeah, just to continue on this remark here, I mean, it really is the basis. This is the most fundamental question of the whole unit: is whether the professions, should there be any, carry with them any kind of unique or different ethical responsibilities. Downey, of course, dismisses the whole idea and says that it's a con. You know, the whole idea of professional ethics is just a way to pull the wool over people's eyes. Whereas Sieghart makes the case that the whole thing is rooted in human relationships, and the professional relationship is a relationship of a certain sort that demands certain kind of behavior on the part of the professional. You know what the arguments are. They're right there in these two essays. They're very good essays, I think, about teach you a lot about really what the profession is supposedly about. You know, I don't know. I mean, you don't have to be convinced. It's a philosophy class. This is part of a longer back and forth discussion about the ethics of medicine, let's say a doctor's professional ethics versus the ethics of business. Somebody responding to a post said, "You make a fair point that putting another doctor out of business could be unethical from a medical standpoint if people then can't get the care they need. But then you could say that about any other business. If someone who offers a very important service is removed by a competitor and the competitor can't service all the old customers, I think you can make a similar, if perhaps less powerful, argument that it's unethical." A very good example. This stems out of a hypothetical that situation Sieghart was talking about. That in business, putting somebody out of business by providing a better service is not considered unethical. And certainly he's right about that. Would it be unethical to put another doctor out of business? Well, because if that lessened the available healthcare in the community, that would be a bad thing. And it would be, of course it would. It would. Yes, it would. I think intentionally putting anybody out of business would be a bad thing, even if it weren't professional. Putting somebody out of business unintentionally by doing a better job than them, I don't consider that to be unethical. But scheming to get rid of a competitor, and businesses do that all the time, I think that's unethical in business per se. But I think that this whole question is very interesting. So I have nothing interesting to say about it, except to say that I think that the question is very interesting because it points up the philosophical question. Is there anything really substantially different between doing business as a professional and doing business as a non-professional? I got to say that it's a great question. My sympathies are generally with Sieghart on this. I think that there are certain things that we do for each other, services that we provide for each other, that are so vital and so personal and so important that calling them professions helps to remind us that these things simply have to be available, and that they cannot be. Well, I mean, it's a good. I happen to think they cannot be adequately done by market principles. So there's some very strong arguments made in the discussion board that I'm wrong about this. And I suppose this is what I have sympathy for this here, that at the end of the day, if people are calling themselves professionals, others expect them to act in a certain righteous way and put our needs in front of their own. I think that that's probably true. That is, especially in medicine, we would be shocked at certain behaviors that we would accept in a business person. But if we were to see them in a doctor, that would be something that we would be shocked by. If a business person doesn't answer the phone at 3 a.m., I don't think anybody would really fault them. But if a doctor doesn't answer the phone at 3 a.m., there's something different about that. If I refuse to do business with you because I don't think it'll be profitable, I don't think anybody would fault me for that. But if I were a physician who refused to treat you because I didn't think it'd be profitable, it may be that I have every right to do so, but we would give it a different ethical cast. Yeah, and then this is really the person saying, well, I mean, if we expect doctors to act this way because of the importance of what they do, why do we not expect ourselves as engineers to do the same thing? So I'll do one more. I'm sorry, do one more, and